We gave them a brief overview and introduction to the Cassini program, as you can see on this slide. So we went over like the notable achievements, things to note on the Cassini orbiter and the Huygens probe, including instruments, structural components, etc. We also went over some of the results of the mission, and we showed them some really cool videos in order to get them excited. And then we presented them with an industry kind of standard kind of challenge where they had to come up with a proposal, which is on the next slide. So we wanted them to have to battle for a contract award. So they would have to come up with a proposal to meet customer requirements. And our customer requirement was to design a vehicle from launch to mission completion that will leave Earth's atmosphere and gather science of their choosing that will contribute to society. And then they had to prove that this would, the benefit would outweigh the cost. And if you go to the next slide, please. We also provided them with an outline for their proposals, as you can see here, to include all of these bullet points in order to meet kind of an industry standard proposal kind of overview. And next slide, please. But besides the outline, we also gave them some questions to think about in order to come up with the best design that they could, like these questions here. And then based upon that, they went off and did their work, and now I'll hand it over to Neely.
Yeah, so holistically, the idea was to expose the students to industry and what happens with contract. I come from the world of academia, and we have like requests for proposals and grant writing, and trying to find that similar within industry of we have contracts and bidding for contracts. And so that was the immersion. We also wanted kind of an iterative process in which the students were exposed to engineers from requirements. The stage we're at now is the proposals have been peer-to-peer reviewed here. So between the students and the teachers with Mr. Close and I. And then those that got filtered or vetted within the school were sent off to Lockheed, and now they're looking at the proposals. And the idea is that they will send back the proposals either approved with no revision, which I don't know in the industry world, but in the academic world, that's extremely rare. It's like finding the gold at the end of the rainbow. Usually it's accepted with revisions, or it's not accepted, and here's why. And so having that feedback and exposure. And we'll do one more round of that based on the revisions to get back to the students. So it's that process trying to merge more similarly to what we see in industry and in academia. With that, you know, one of the results we have is looking at Angeline, Mung, and Jati, looking at their project that they want to give a big overview, as well as probably what they're looking for is your experience and your side of things on the project.
So for me, so just start off, I'm a Moog, and I'm Jatine.
And I'm Angeline.
Yeah, so a brief overview of her project was a Cerebria probe. So we went to Saturn's largest moon, Titan, which is one of the only moons in the solar system with like a stable liquid water. So we wanted to see if it could hold life. So we went out there, we sent a probe and then a rover that we based off of Curiosity, and we still orbited around it and checked weather patterns to see if we could do anything there. It would be interesting.
And that original proposal.
Yeah.
So overall, I guess it wasn't just the three of us. There was a team of 16 people working on this proposal with us, and it was not only a great learning experience, but it was also a lot of fun for us. I think that all of us have some sort of deep interest in aerospace engineering, especially, and having the opportunity to explore other planets, explore other moons, and it really helped us apply that passion and knowledge towards a great proposal which we threw together. And I think the teamwork that we went through for this was pretty great. I think we did a really, really good job with how we wrote it all out, and in the beginning, I think it was like 25 pages or something like that, and 32 or something like that, and I think like a couple of nights before, we're like, yeah, we need to cut this down, and so we were all on the document cutting it down to, what is it now, like 17, so it's not that much of an improvement, but it's half of it cut down, so, and yeah.
So yeah, a lot of it was like a really great experience for us, and like it had a lot of learning benefits, and provided us with an experience of like real life situations, I guess. And so I think for the majority, we did great work as a team. At least we hope.
It's now into Lockheed Martin now for to be reviewed by Lockheed Martin.
So I think we also got like a very real life situation, as in we faced a lot of problems, and like being able to overcome that and come up with solutions and everything. I think that was a really cool experience, because like one experience I can tell you right off the bat was shielding for the probe itself. So we had trouble kind of coming up with solutions to shield the probe. So after hours of research, we finally came up with a solution of something that hasn't been thought of before from what we've researched. Basically distributing the heat on the probe instead of deflecting all heat.
And also, the teamwork, since we had such a large team of 16 people, it was really hard getting on the same page all the time. For example, even when we were cutting it down, so while one person was cutting it down, sometimes one person would be out of the loop and be rewriting a part, so that took way longer than it should have. And in the end, we had to like stop entirely, discuss for like 45 minutes what we needed, what we didn't, and then we really rewrote our entire thing at the end. And yeah, but with a group that large, there were a lot of benefits too. For example, it was like a melting pot of ideas. So for example, like even our names, like we had a ton of names and they were all really creative ideas. But in the end, we settled on Eurabia for our probe and Prius for our rover.
So I'm gonna start a question to facilitate. So what things did you learn as far as skills that you might think that you could use later on, both within high school or outside of high school?
So one big thing right off the bat is teamwork, being able to work with any team. Because like there may have been a few students that might have not gotten along with your ideas or have exactly participated with your ideas. And so being able to work with them and coming up with a solution in the middle.
And I honestly don't think in all the team projects we've done at school, we've never had a team this big, and we've never had to write such a big report. And I guess it really took us through the stages of what teamwork actually is.